Very well. Yeah, as I said, I don't pay what J. So it's a quick one. There are some of the things SEC say ye kase ye de call embremua. We should be able to find some level of compensation for Nkrofo one more affected by the spillage of the dam. Mamintio ewo the air coso in some part of the Volta region and eastern region as well. Na afe yenhwe the good opportunity ewo ho edema timebo for.
Okay. That's it. The big kind of sir spillage na mo no. Affected cemeteries. Affected refuse dumps. Just baby I to ball like boo.
Exactly.
Say be TFE, baby a jaya 9 mortuaries or honomo ni na affected. Ya two schools mu. Of course, obia oye juma ba juma or hanasa oye na nkasa ni business crap no. O to be enkoye hwe. Bigit say emu bebre ya hwe dia isiye na amanfo eti akro mu na oti akro no mu a uhu edan etifi adan ya ehihye nsuyi mu nyina eba se nsuyi no kra po nyina etwe kwa adan no asai nkrofo fridge nkrofo TV omuni bebrebe na ehya hono mo right
yes
se akopa so ma hwere omuni amasi ya yetumi nkwankwhwa sibia o yakakoma mo friends rubber bucket and some anwa
bags of rice
no they will really have to be compensated. And you see, I did be say, oh, I did what to say you to me because you are a friend saying the integrity of the Akosombo Dam, no. I agree perfectly. But I will say it here, sir. The managers of the Akosombo Dam, no, they have been criminally negligent.
They have been criminally negligent.
Criminally negligent, yes. Because it means that we cannot even trust them for 1 second. Openyi, they are supposed to have a meteorological department. They are supposed to have drones who should be monitoring the inflow of water. So that if they are doing their work very well, the data collection via their drones and other things, we will have told them, say, Charlie, it should be a bow. It should not eto up north, no. Such that yemye ama only beyond spillage, even though by the record at the dam site, we may be even at the say the friends say minimum operating level. But as I said, you're spilling. Otherwise, the amount of water if you throw air bano, yen to me. They didn't do that. They waited for the water to come. It now hit the maximum operating level before they decided to spill. What kind of expertise are that? Then we have people who come and buddy around and say they are technical this, technical that, city office, and I repeat, this is one of the criminal negligence, and the people will have to be compensated. Openly, look at the whole substation electricity. It is submerged. What do you mean? So also I be Kumi.
Exactly. Substation, no? Yes.
So it will mean that the whole area, no, they are going to be deprived of what a friend saying
electricity
supply. Can you imagine the trauma, the stress, the difficulties that they are going to go through? So you know, it is a one crop for we Juma Papa. Of course, a small boy Quebec will say that Akosombo Dam from the upstream right even into the catchment area Nakasano, Dam Nakasano. It should be silted by now. When was the last time they desilted it? When was the last time? It is so no levels because there is heavy siltation down there. For all you know, if effective siltation had been done, how can I show you say no matter the amount of water it is so it could have contained it. Then beyond that, do they know the water cost of water after it has been spilled from a friend saying from the dam? Is it that they are persons who have the expertise? They knew this was going to be the extent of damage with the people downstream, the kind of health threats, economic activities being halted. And then they will come and stand on the DC and they say nonchalantly say, we at the end of the day, we have to even increase the spillage. So when people are talking about compensation, the people need more than that. Because at least if the down cost, has also been effectively dredged, and I'm making sure say at least at the end, at the confluence, maybe and so yes to me at this also I'm so no to me I share a punumu with some ease and because the entire and so no Akosro na air is because it is not able to move easily into the sea. There is so much siltation. It is the water, your friends said, depth, very high. It is then it goes up. But when you look at what has happened, it is terrible. It is really, really terrible. And I'll tell you, and I was watching telly, and I saw for be I can say we should declare a state of emergency. It is something that should be quickly done. And some very, very positive things done to alleviate the plight of those persons. A whole town now flooded you. So now why are those people living? Yes, you can give them some food, you can give them some mattresses and other things. But life is not about just eating and clothing.
Yeah.
Because we know that. Economic life, how is that also going to be handled?
One way, what medical conditions?
Serious. So when I don't see this issue coming on the front burner, that the politics as usual. So we are going to call an NDC guy, call an MPP guy, and then they will come and debate. And things that by their debate they are going to convince the voting public. That's all that we are doing. We are always thinking of partisan politicking. Here are people who are in distress. Let's empathize.
Yes, but the president himself made a political statement.
Hello?
Yes, Councillor, what you mean, Yes, I'm saying the president himself, upon visiting the area, make a political statement. So what will be wrong if the media houses are equally inviting politicians to speak to some of these things? In any case, women are managing your resources in United.
Statement our president acquire or no, I will say it is one of the most unfortunate statements.
Kessben 92.
I will not blame his handlers. The handlers, they should have talked to him and all those type of things. No. You see, when you are talking, you should talk in reaction to a particular thing or with a view of trying to put out a certain information now. So when he said, among other things to say, if it were to be a matter of those who voted for him, because he knows they didn't vote for him.
Yes,
what was the essence of that pattern? But it shows the sense to which the president himself was even absent-minded. When he went on to say, and he knows that over some time, they will vote for him and also for his party. Mr. President, will tell me now soon, come 2025, you will never ever become a president of Ghana. It will be unto Abana for you. You better Abama, but you see, that also tells you, there wasn't deep thinking when he was even talking. Ghana for any say, when people want to be frank with the leadership, that's what we for. When somebody says that what you are saying is stupid, it is different from the person saying you are stupid. He is saying, what seminar no, and I said you are stupid, and you only pediano. So we should be able to differentiate between when somebody says what the person said is stupid, and now taking the persona of the person and to say, oh no, are stupid. And I'll be honest with you, I felt so very sad, and I don't know what has become of our president. Because in recent times, some of the utterances not all year, he rather creates problem for himself or even for the country. Look at what he wants to say about Palestine issue. Why? Look at what he did when he spoke about some persons. This Burkina issue. He had to take Kandapa to go to Burkina and to be negotiating and doing all manner of things to ensure that tension and Why is that? And then it appears that people are almost always thinking of perpetuating themselves into power. It should have a certain political influence. You should have a certain political or partisan political impact. I don't think the way the president spoke was well at all. He terribly misspoke. And I think he will need to come and apologize for that particular utterance. People will say, oh, he said it in a particular context. Whichever context that you put it, that aspect, they say, that utterance ought not to have come up at all.
Yes, but the forum no crowd now with Juna now what they can't say no. Was it the right forum for that? Because it is no fault of the citizens a what me pay any those areas in the say and they go through this challenge. I mean, it is at the negligence of the VRE and Akofasa how the no aba. It's the forum no. Was it even appropriate for that?
Speaker, you are very right. The forum wasn't proper. You made it look as if say mono. It was like me a me pe ma 17 na me ba me mu some favors bi. Na ka me say me dream ho say one want to abanama me anka me mba. You don't speak like that. You see, when you say a particular thing, who can say? You say the Azia me no can say. Na me ba mu studio na say mu studio high fine pa o. I have said other things. By saying some studio high fine, you know. I have said other radio stations, you know, almost studio no and fine. And now almost studios, you know, I equally fine to some way no.
Kessben 92.9.
Or it may be they are a bit better than normal there. So when you say, oh, if it were to be this issue about voting there and can member, so you were indirectly telling the people say, someone who was a man to a banana farmer, Papa we. A full friend to a bad man, no, and never be a president. It is uncle for one to a banana farm, and can never be about her. You don't wrap people's noses into their underside. When they are in such a terrible state, they need words of comfort. Oh, you over there you don't talk too much because the people are in a very terrible psychological situation. So you need psychologists to come and talk to them to raise their morale. Because Obi Wahonomoa, a situation of woman, he can be so desperate that he can even commit suicide. Oh, dying, a woman, your fridge,
I
your
say
tea,
yes.
You will be beer.
We are saying there was setting up beer. Yeah.
I say, why you fool? What about G loan? If you bank me, at the Baba, a phobia, you should have a tell me to say the whole thing. What are you going to tell the bank for them to either write off your loan or what?
And we have instances like that. And Crawford tilapia farms around the Water Lake Ninjinano. In fact, one farms Ninjinano are destroyed by this spillage.
Precisely. They may have the fishes in their cages, but those fishes are not supposed to be taken in fecal matter.
By now, by now, so much.
Is that what you have to say? Is that what we, as a president of the Republic of Ghana, what you can, silence is golden, you know.
Very well. But Council, what opportunities are there in terms of law for these victims here? Because I say, you know, VRA is no longer talking about compensation, even as we speak. All they care is that spillage, you know, you're making sure say dam or no at its right levels. Any level of compensation is a secondary matter. As we speak this morning, no opportunities being in terms of our loss. A bit miabua mancro for our more victims, no any closure for themselves.
Yes, of course, with the kind of mess that the DRA has plunged everybody into, they will have to continue with the spillage because just say, apart from even the mess that they have caused downstream, you know, we risk even losing the dam as well.
Okay,
and that one will be terrible. It's, you know, say they will have to even spill more if that will save the dam for all of us. and then probably we will now think of what to do on another bright day. But in the issue, regarding the issue of compensation, there can be a class action taken against the VRA for those distractions, So what the leadership of those areas, assemblymen, the chiefs, and all those things, they say they should start now compiling the list of losses and individuals are suffer.
Okay.
So that those individuals will have their names put out, and then they can take that class action against the VRA for the compensation.
If they fail to do so on their own accord, I presume.
Well, yes, they will have to do that on their own. But I'm not talking, say that they will be, that's why I'm talking about class action. So they are going to engage a lawyer who will now do this thing for them. So they will all come under that one particular action, But of course, with the various demands as made by them, the various compensations as sought by them. It is a TV, in I say TV, a particular brand, not a LG4. Now LG4, it cost to 2009. The compensation is going to ask for, will be how much LG4 will be sold at this present time.
Yes, but even with that, so how will we validate the items from house to house?
That is going to be another thing. So what will have to happen if the VRA wants to cut its loss, right? It will have to set up an annual committee,
okay,
which will be meeting the people and telling and asking them, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that at a certain level, they should be able to probably go to those areas and do verification of the claims that have been made by the people. But someone yes idea no more jana tension in every job almost can say they had even 100,000 in their rooms. Now so we see and no question 100,000 now. You have to lead evidence to validly challenge that claim now. So now that they have this opportunity, a friend Akrono and then so
insurance, yeah.
Yes, as the water recedes, it do a level to say be a waste level or be a so doing for no. I believe that they can now go into those rooms and check whether or not those things are there.
Yes, but insurance what should be called anything. Insurance so actually money be quiet. What is going to happen?
Well, we'll look at it and so naturally money be quiet. At the time now you call no. In so or sham on the fan and etiano. Say a bay no money anymore. How could that be? I hope you understand me. Unless it we have a cancer. Oh, in so no no to do. And my when a floaty ever talk in so many and I wash you call here. Most of these houses and habitations, they are closed habitations. And obviously, when the water was coming up, those people out of fear will lock those doors and run away.
Okay.
So the possibility of saying, say, near money be is not anybody because unless that particular house, so no abubuna manegu. And no crap on saying, so near bunwa, bricks, any blocks, if they have a talk near
we'll cover the items. Okay.
So those are some of the investigations are over here to validate whatever claims are will be here. So as for the VRA there, whatever they do, they are going to suffer this a class action for compensation.
Now you mentioned earlier on criminal negligence. That is a strong legal term associated with a VRA.
Yes. Yes, it is. You see, it is criminal negligence because that's what I'm saying. Expertise and power, the ability to forecast, to foretell what will happen. What am I gonna say?
Yes.
When they came, when they did that, a friend saying exercise, we saw the people say, "It's so no bad. This is how we will clear you in other things." What was it that they were anticipating? They were anticipating such a situation, not so. So if they were anticipating such a situation, did they take that trouble to undertake some immediate dredging. Did they also start to do some earlier spillage? So that spillage, because it was not going to be as severe as the present one. No, every money then and your area as flooded as it has become now.
Okay.
But you took to all these things, and then your expertise are able to foretell what could be the situation in the next 1 month or 2 months or 1 week. 1 year will be ara. Then all that you come and tell us, and they say in Sona Dawson there has been excess rainfall as a result of the present climate change, and all those your friends so we are not looking for reasons why things are happening. We are saying that what did you do? Didn't you know of the climate change? Didn't you know of the heavy rains that were occasioning as a result of the climate change? What did you do? You waited till the water level had gone beyond reasonable or a security level before you decide to spill. How can you do that? And if this is not criminality by way of negligence, then I don't know what else it is.
Very well. Council, and a permit that I say, BBA best said in Comobia. Thank you. And lawyer Paul Kumi, constitutional lawyer, private legal practitioner, and you didn't know at the end common. There are opportunities available for victims a war mepe and some part of the Volta region, talking about South Town, North Town, a soldier mine, and any enclaves in Indiana, and Yanino at the home and common.